no shortage of information today, and wisdom is rare. This show exists to slow things down and to learn from those that have success and that have the wisdom as well. Not only that, they are making an impact in people's lives. Welcome back to the show. I wanted to introduce my guest, my friend, realtor, mother, co-founder of a business, Kinetic Real Estate, and just overall dope person. And we've been talking about sitting down and chatting for maybe over a year now, and we finally made it happen. So thank you for coming out, taking the time out of your day and joining me for this conversation. Gillian.
No, thank you, Jay. Planned this for so long, just yesterday.
Yeah.
You asked me to come out.
I know, short notice.
Yeah,
So and that just, I'm just grateful to have you. Like, short notice, you said, yeah, of course I'll be there, and here we are having this conversation. So
I say yes to the people I love.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The feeling is mutual. Yeah. So as I was talking to you off screen, right? My hope for this show and the idea of this show is to really highlight the people that I love, that I respect, that are successful, to talk about your journey, your life, so that people can see the blueprint and take something from that it maybe become their blueprint, right, to success. So if they can take one piece of information from this that's going to change their life, that's what I want to do, right? So I guess we can start off with maybe your life story, like who was Gillian before the Gillian we see now? Like, what was your childhood like and growing up?
Yeah, well, I'm still growing. I mean, to contrary to maybe what a lot of people believe, I think I'm still growing and still striving for success. I think there's different stages in success, but yeah, so let's start there. But I grew up in San Francisco. I was born in the Philippines. I came here when I was 2 years old, with my family, specifically in the Mission District area, and not what it is today, but I mean, it was like an eventful childhood. We moved out. We moved around a couple times. I have 4 siblings. So yeah, there's 4 of us. 3 siblings, I'm sorry. So we're a family of 4. 2 brothers. I'm the oldest daughter. Typically in the Filipino culture, you're like the second mom, right? So I mean, grew up in the Mission. It was eventful, seen like a lot of crazy things.
What part of the Mission?
Specifically, I grew up on 20th and San Carlos.
Okay.
So I think, I don't know, what is that? I don't even want to say, but it was fun. It was fun because we grew up playing tennis. So my dad always played at the Mission playground. He kind of forced us to go. So I did grow up playing tennis. That kind of like after school program, something to do. That's just how I started more getting like athletic, during like PE and stuff. I didn't really join any extracurricular like sports outside of school, only because, I don't know, it wasn't really, it wasn't exposed to us, or to me at least. But we had a lot of good support, like nonprofit programs coming into like the public school systems. I was a part of like I Have a Dream program. They helped me throughout college, like having like a mentor just following me throughout different stages or different grades. So that was helpful. Now looking back at it and now seeing like other nonprofit programs helping young kids, just keeping them accountable, staying on track. That was super helpful now that I look back. I was just around the way kid and got into some trouble, but I was overall a good kid.
Yeah, I think that's normal for kids growing up in San Francisco at that time.
Yeah.
It's a lot different nowadays than what it was growing up. And
I think about it now. After high school, I moved to Sacramento for college because I said, if I don't get out of here, I'm not going to graduate. Yeah. So that was immediately. And on top of that, my parents were so strict. I had to come home right away. It was just, your typical Filipino girl.
Yeah.
Rules, house rules. And so I just wanted a little different scenery, which was good because I realized like growing up in San Francisco, you're accessible to like inner city kids. Your transportation is like every 2 minutes, every 5 minutes. I went to Everett, then I went to Philippine South Burton, then I'm like up and down Stonestown, downtown. We went to like all the malls. Anywhere the bus could take us, we would go.
Yep.
And on the bus, especially on the bus, on BART, you see the craziest things.
Yep.
You see like people from different sides of the city. So, but yeah, and I cheered a little bit. That was fun. That was the only reason why I was able to like stay outside a little bit longer. I don't know. I just remember high school being super fun, but it wasn't like it molded me to just have thicker skin.
Yeah.
But also I knew that like I needed to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm also from the city, and so I can relate, and everything you're saying resonates with me, but from a boy's perspective, of course, but very challenging, very interesting. A lot of things happen. I used to go to Mission all the time. So, it's very, you have to navigate in a certain kind of way. No, thank you for sharing that. So you kind of get through high school, then you go to college in SAC, then you come back at some point back to the city?
Yes. So I graduated 2010. Moved to Sac State, Sacramento. So I went to Sac State, was in college for a couple years, and then I had to get out of there because I'm like on my 5th year. So I asked my counselor I went in for speech pathology, but I realized quickly that it's not something I wanted to do. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do, even up until I got into real estate, even getting into real estate. But I had my daughter in 2017. And so I've always been interested in real estate, obviously like the glamour. They talk about the money. It's really not like that at all, but it was just the only thing that I think I could do. So I actually worked at the kiosk at the mall at Sac State, Art and Fair Mall. And that was probably my first experience like live sales, which I love doing now. But it's like, this is easy. So I kind of just started working there, was going to school. And then I worked at the bank. I kind of did like 2 part-time jobs. When someone recruited me from the kiosk to the bank, I was selling hair straighteners. So I, sat her down, let me do your hair. You make them feel good. That's just kind of, you have a solution for their needs. That's really the basics of sales. So I worked at the bank, and then I quickly realized customer service is important. Your relationships with the clients that you have is important. You're talking like, like Napa money. You're talking old money, because the bank that I worked at was a very influential bank, but it was like small. You knew everybody by name, especially, Mr. Rob or whatever the case. And so like putting all of that experience together, it kind of helped me prep to be in real estate, not knowing, like, you never know what the future comes, what your future holds. But yeah, just everything falls into place. And I remember when I was having my daughter, I had a conversation with mom, or I think it was my manager. She was like, it just falls into place. I'm like, what are you talking about? I have to plan, I have to do this. And yeah, I think that's one advice I would tell someone. I mean, you have to take action, you have to execute, but eventually everything falls into place.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, my wife has that same philosophy. It's like, we'll just figure it out. Like, everything will happen how it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And it's like what you're saying, everything falls into place. So as you're kind of going through this process of maybe like finding yourself, right? And then now you're having a new identity of becoming a mom. When did real estate come into the picture? Like, what was the first idea or the piece of information, or what kind of shifted your mind to go in that direction?
So I remember this lady, she came into the bank. I think she worked in commercial real estate, and still a lot of money now. But I remember her coming into the bank, cashing her checks. It would be like 50,000, 25,000, 100,000, 80,000. I'm like, so what the heck does this lady do? So I, look up her account. Maybe I wasn't supposed to do that, but I had to deposit her check. So I looked at the bank name. I was like, what does she do? So I was like, real estate. It was said something Suzanne real estate. And I'm like, okay, this is where I need to be, because at the bank you're making pennies. I was probably making like $14 an hour, if that. Mm-hmm. And I was already, before I even had my daughter, I already like met her, and then so maybe a year later, I was pregnant, still working at the bank. I was like, I gotta get out of here, because if I'm paying for daycare or whatever, mm-hmm. it wouldn't even make sense.
Right.
You're taking so much risk to be like a teller or a banker for pennies.
Yeah.
Like you count money wrong. And we literally had to count money in our hands, because we didn't have, we were like so old school. Yeah. I was working at such an old school bank, but it was good because I learned like the fundamentals of just money handling and talking to like older clientele, or like more, just different clients. So then after I got pregnant, I said, this is now or never. I need to take my test. I literally need to take my test, because by the time she's like running around, I'm not going to have any time. So I had a friend who works already for a real estate company. She's a transaction coordinator. I reached out to her in Nile. She was like, you should just get your real estate license, sign up for Redfin, and just be a showing agent. You don't have to negotiate. You don't have to do all the like hard stuff. And then she's telling me all this. I still don't understand like the scope of real estate, mm-hmm. like what it means to be an agent, just the ins and outs. I'm like, I just need to be in real estate is like what I was thinking. And I think my daughter was not even a month old. I was studying to take my test. Yeah, I before she was 2 months, I was studying, and it was a good timing because I was already prepped from like school already, from like how to study for a test. Mm-hmm. And I passed first time. I know everyone says like it's hard, but I think taking a crash course for sure helped. And yeah, I just took off from there because I did what she told me to do. I had already like at least a plan of action. So I got my real estate exam, and then I passed. I interviewed. My daughter was crying in the background. I heard her crying in the background. I had to her dad was at work, and then I was going through the interview. I'm like, oh God, I hope they don't hear her. But I remember that clearly. But I got the job. You're still on a 1099, and all I had to do was show homes. Literally open up the door, show homes. This was 2018, 19, and in Sacramento, it was maybe picking up, but it was great. It was just a good stepping stone, good mm-hmm. like entry to real estate. And then we didn't have really any family in Sacramento, so it was like my daughter's getting a little older. Her dad got a like contractor's job for Genentech, and I'm like, I kind of want to move back home too. All of our family, our friends are there. We've already built our foundation in Sacramento, and so we like you have a family unit already. Mm-hmm. So we're like, okay, we're ready to move back to the big city. So we did. We were commuting a little bit, saving for our first place, and then I was like, should I go into real estate full time, or do I want to keep doing, because it's all commission based. People don't understand that, all commission based. If you go into full-time real estate, unless you're working under like a team and you're getting paid a salary. But with Redfin showing homes, it was still at least a little bit, you can manage how much you would be making, because dependent on the amount of showings you take on, you're just showing homes. So that was already a jump. I got comfortable in that. And then I asked Nile again. I was like, hey, I want to go into full time. What do you think? Because she's a transaction coordinator and she knows like a bunch of agents. She's like, reach out to this guy, Kevin. He's been popping off. It looks like he needs like some help. He's been doing great. So I did on Facebook, or like I DM'd him or whatever. And then I met him. And I just like met up with him at Keller Williams because he was at Keller Williams at the time. And yeah, I just kind of told him like I'm ready to get into real estate. I was a showing agent. He probably did not know too what he needed in his business, but it just like stars aligned. Like I was gonna work hard regardless. I wasn't gonna be doing anything else. I was just I was looking for a mentor. So I think in real estate, you really have to find the right team or find like the right person that can help mold you, guide you. And just be a sponge. Like be a sponge, learn. You're not there necessarily for the money because the money is not going to come. The money will follow. And I think that's what a lot of people make a mistake on too, is like you really do have to have a passion for helping people or bringing the skills that you have into real estate. If not, you think you're gonna get a client, like you don't know what you're doing yet. Like you have to crawl before you like walk, run, right? And so finding the mentor. I mean, you mentor a lot of people, and you've been mentored. And I can't say this enough. Like you have to have, it's like a older brother, older sister that has to teach you the game. Like you cannot just think you're gonna go into a business and know everything. You're gonna fall flat on your face. So I think I've been blessed in that aspect. That I was able to find someone who is willing to mentor me, or like willing to allow me into their space to just learn. And then you get kind of, if you learn quick, like I learned quick, I don't need to be handheld. So it's just, I gave myself a year and a half, and then I felt like, I was ready to just do my thing.
Wow, that was a lot.
Sorry.
That was great. I think there's a lot to unpack there. So what I gather from that is you were a young mom transitioning to going into full-time real estate, changing your environment from SAC back to the Bay Area, seeking a mentor, like advocating for yourself. I think that's huge. We should talk about more like the mentorship and advocating. And I agree with you. I think, and I'm a big advocate for mentorship because how it's shaped my life is being in the world of other people that are successful and seeing what they're doing, what their habits are, and just how they operate at a high level, so I could pick up and do these things for myself. So I think, to me, it just sounds like that was just happening all at a rapid pace. Like, what was going through your mind through all of those changes, and like, what did you realize at the end of it?
People ask like, for that question alone, I think that if I really thought back on it, mind you, we were already isolated from like chaos of the city. We were isolated from distractions. We were isolated from like negative nuances. It was a regular chill life. Like I went to school, work, same thing. Just then had our daughter. It's really a good place for someone to start a family, I would say. And just, if you just want to get away from like the busy life, the distractions of like your hometown, because then you have more like clarity. You have more clarity to feed your like just life positive things. And what I was doing, what I started to do every day when we were commuting back and forth, because there was a small period of time we were commuting back and forth, I was only listening to audiobooks, podcasts, Bigger Pockets. And that's how like really I started to like get more and more interested into real estate. Like real estate investing, out of state investing. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, what are they talking about? Every day I was listening to one episode. And just like these episodes that you're creating for other people is what I was listening to. It's like a mom, like, oh, she just stepped into real estate, or like someone was, they created facility homes, or they started flipping mobile homes, like just stuff that I was unknown to, that I started to like open up my mind to. So I was already prepped mentally. Like you always have to prep yourself mentally before you can get into like anything. 'Cause I mean, that's its own foundation. So I felt like I already had that advantage, that my mind was already right to get into like real estate, because again, you're taking all of your life experiences from working at the mall, like selling to strangers, working with clients, and then my upbringing of like having like some an athletic bone, being competitive, and just being like, just being game tight all around, being like just building yourself up. So when I got into real estate, I think I already had that advantage, but all I needed was like a guide. All I needed was a mentor.
Yeah.
And just being always a student of learning. And I always hear you say this, like you're always a student. And always be a student. I'm still a student.
Yeah. Same.
So sometimes like I have to remind myself, like, you gotta humble yourself. Like you still don't know everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, at the time I was already thinking I'm just so driven. I was so driven, so focused. I'm like, I probably have not been as driven like that until now. Because I remember like this was like my eyes was on the prize. Like I even told like my family and friends, I was like, no one is getting in my way. Like literally no one is getting in my way, because once I'm like, once I want to do something, it's just hard for me to like not do it. And you have to take sacrifices for sure. 100%. Obviously, like I loved music at the time. You just, I don't know, like you just have to take these small sacrifices to stay on track.
100%. I think what you shared is important. Because we talk about health, right? We think physical health automatically, but we rarely consider mental health until as of late, right? It was not a thing. Like I didn't grow up talking about mental health or my feelings or anything. It's just like, hey, deal with it.
Yeah.
But spiritual health, you got to fill that cup.
Right.
And when we talk about, financial health, it's all things to do that contribute to that part of you, right? So what are you doing to improve your physical health? Are you working out? Are you exercising? Are you active? What are you doing to improve your financial health? Are you getting around people that are successful? Are you tracking your finances? Are you being an investor, not a consumer? And then when we talk about spiritual health, are you, whatever that is, right. Are you praying? Are you meditating? Are you creating that space for you to sit in silence just to kind of gather your thoughts? And then going back to the mental health, like, are you meditating? Are you praying? And what you mentioned, and why I'm saying all of this, is because your habit that you created in doing your commute to educate yourself, listening to Bigger Pockets, the same thing for me, Bigger Pockets and audiobooks, that felt like a cheat code for me at that time, because I was just downloading all this information that was like self-help to kind of expand my mind and open up the way I looked at things, my perception. And it's not only what we consume to be healthy, what is what we consume, but it's also what we consume for our minds. So if you're listening to music, and look, I'm not perfect. I grew up in the hip hop culture, the golden era. Like I was heavily involved in music myself. And, when you listen to constantly music that's like glorifying like killing or drugs, you internalize that and it becomes okay. And therefore, when you're around it, or you're kind of open to that, and I think that's detrimental in a lot of ways. But, to go back to your point, now you have a choice. On that commute, you can listen to music, right?
Time and place.
Yeah, but you chose to educate yourself. And I think that's a small sacrifice for a big gain. But that's part of what you're talking about, is like, there has to be a sacrifice, right? You drive on a long commute. Of course, you want to feel the vibe and feel good, but what are you doing to further yourself, your position, your education, your knowledge, to get 1% better every day? And that was a game changer for me on my commute. So I want to commend you, because that was probably the start of how everything else changed, right? So we have to be mindful of what we consume, even what we watch, what we listen to, because that is also consumption. And there was one Bigger Pockets episode, I think it was the very first one that I listened to, because I was doing I was doing research on how to buy houses with no money because I was broke, like I don't have money. I didn't come from a wealthy family, but how do other people do it? And then Bigger Pockets came up. And I remember the first episode I listened to, this was one of the sparks that did it for me. There were several things that happened in my life, but this was one of them early on. It was a story about this mother of 2 or 3 in Detroit. She was a waitress making about $24,000 a year. And what she did was she grew up in the area. She knew a little pocket that was, like a C-class neighborhood, but this pocket was nice. So she used a tax refund.
I think I remember that
as a down payment to buy a property for herself. She lived in it. Then the next year she took the tax refund and bought another one, a low down payment, moved into that one and rented out the one she was previously at. Then the next one, she did it again, and she just kept every year buying. And then she started to grow her portfolio, her income increased, and her reason was to be present for her daughter's ballet practice or sports. And my thought at that moment was, if a single mom with 3 kids making $24,000 a year can figure out how to make real estate work for her, why can't I? Like, I know this is a different market, but whatever her circumstances were, she figured out a way to do it. Right. So that was powerful for me to just come to my own realization. Now, what I wanted to ask you is, I'm going to say a successful and powerful woman in the real estate industry in our area, in our market. As a mother, like, how do you navigate that? Because I'm sure there are many women out there that want to invest in real estate, that want to be a realtor, but they might have a limiting belief in that I don't have time because I have a kid. Like, what do you say to that person listening right now?
First I have to give it to like my support system, like the people that I'm around, like my family, her family. Like I have a really, really good support system. I used to grow up thinking like my family is freaking weird. Like they don't, like they're just, and then as I grow up, like, I see other people's family, I'm like, I love my family.
Yeah.
I love the people I'm around. I don't surround myself with, I don't like tolerate nonsense, like people that I don't like to be around. So just in her too, she's just with her family. I keep her busy with school. If I was to do it all over again, obviously I would go back to the basics, just get my mind right. And like, you have to make those sacrifices. You got to cut out people that don't make sense for you. You got to cut out people like friends sometimes, like put them on a pause and just like align yourself with people that are on the same trajectory you want to become. Because it doesn't make sense to take, I also don't take advice from people that are not where I want to be. So I needed to humble myself, and I would get in different rooms. They always say get in different rooms, even if it's as uncomfortable as it was for me. Like, I would sign up for, I don't know, crazy meetups that someone like me would never go to. I started to do, even in SAC, I was doing like multi-level marketing, and I didn't know what it was. And it was like, what the heck? But people just, I think multi-level marketing was great for me. The products are always good, but you understood, like, I started to understand like the business, and it was not really the business I was interested in. It was more so the like ability to know that, damn, you can really become who you want to become and make your life the way you want to make it if you sacrifice, if you just work hard, and if you just have to be aligned with the right people. And just like, they always say knowledge is wealth, but applied knowledge really is wealth. Like, you just make it, you have to take action. So I don't know, like, just take it one step at a time. But I would say get your mind strong, right? And just really, like you said, sit within yourself sometimes. Sometimes as you're moving, as a mom, you're like, and even still today, I'm like, I never get to chill. Sometimes when I'm chilling, I'm like, this feels good for like once at the blue moon, but it feels like you're always doing something. Find some time to just like chill and just like, relieve yourself from like the day to day. So then you can have a clear mind clear mind and think about, okay, like, what do I really want to do? Or like, what actually makes me feel good? Find something that makes you feel good, whether it's working out, cleaning up the house. I would say, I know it sounds crazy, but make sure your space is clean. Like, I know everyone talks about like mom cars. Like, my car can look crazy, but I'll still find the time to clean it up. But you just like
your environment.
Your environment. It's really your environment and your house. Like, find the time. Like, people say they don't have time, but I kid you not, you're doing so much other BS. Like, you got to cut it out. And so, I just don't, like, I'm not an excuse type of person either.
Mm-hmm.
So, sometimes I have people come to me and they say this, and that, like, I want to do this. And I'm always like, because people have helped me, so I'm always like, I'm a giver naturally.
Pay it forward.
But my mom just raised me that way. I'm just a natural giver. But then once I start hearing the excuses, then I'm like frustrated. Like, like it's
pet
not.
Peeve?
My pet peeve is really excuses. Like, it's not, or it's like limiting beliefs. Mm-hmm. But then, like, I had to learn patience throughout this.
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes people don't know better because they just don't know. Mm-hmm. But, I think for like myself, when I'm reaching out to people that I need help with, like, I have to come in even like humble myself because I don't know everything. I'm coming to you because I want to learn, right? And I think that's where a lot of like people that want to get into real estate, you're coming to people that have already like either one paved the way for you. I'm not saying me, but other people have paved the way. I've already taken these sacrifices. I'm just trying to help you not to make the same mistakes, make it easier for you. But everyone learns at their own pace.
Right. Mindset is everything. And you talk about mindset a lot throughout this conversation. Like, what is the biggest mindset shift for you that changed everything?
Yeah, getting in those rooms. I mean, if I can remember time, I think I got my first 3 real estate checks, and I was like, "Oh, it's game over." I'm never looking back.
Yeah.
Like, and it wasn't. It was a lot, but it was a lot to me at the time.
Right.
But today, it's like it's my reality.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because to boast, but it's because you build your foundations, right?
Yeah, and you're leveling up, right?
Yeah, as you're supposed to. Yeah. As you should. You should. I mean, if you're happy, you're happy. Whatever. But if you have goals, like, at that time, I was like, I'm never going to be broke. Like, never going to be broke. And, I mean, I said this somewhere else, too. And I think there's a lot more, like, influencers that are talking about it, which I like for women, is, like, if you know sales, the art of sales, like, you're never going to be broke. Like, you can sell for other people with different things and not just real estate. But and people think, like, sales is a, like, sleazy thing. It's not. It's you're helping people make a decision based on like what they want. They just you have the information that they need. So I like there's no way. And it's like if you have the right mindset, the right people around you, the right coaches, in any industry, not just real estate. Like you have to get your mind right. You say like now mental health is just like becoming a thing. Sometimes like, you have so much going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, damn, am I fucking crazy? Like, like you really have to check yourself.
Yeah.
So so I just try to keep myself like as much as I can, just in the middle.
Yeah.
There's, we talked about podcasts. She was an ex-FBI agent. And the way they process things is like you're not too high, not too low, and I just like to stay in the middle. I don't like to have my emotions everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't like to be so like super happy because you're not like that's only temporary. Yeah. You don't want to be too low. Who wants to be there? Right. So you just gotta.
It's a lot of
balancing,
managing emotions.
Yeah.
Right, and that's something that I've learned probably within the last 5 years. I've done a lot of internal work, a lot of therapy, a lot of prayers, a lot of everything to kind of heal.
Yeah.
So that I can show up the best version of myself, right? As of now. Right. And then what do I continue to do? It's like you said, it's like you continue to learn, right? Like one of my mentors said that if you're not learning or growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
So I continue to get mentors around me so I can educate myself, learn, and see through somebody else's lens to get me to the next level, and then continue to keep elevating, right? And it's true. It's like what you said, is like getting into the right rooms, getting around the right people, feeding off the energy, helping each other elevate and support each other, right?
Yeah, when you talk about who you were before and now, like, I used to be a spaz. I used to wear my emotions on my sleeve. Like, I used to like act quick, never think. Like, I was a spaz. Like, I was a hothead spaz. So now I love who I am, because you can't really get an emotion out of me now.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, it's not worth it to me.
Wow, I didn't know that. I would not have known that. But I can say this, is that I can relate, because I couldn't control my emotions, and I used to wear my emotions on my sleeves, and it was kind of not being able to handle my emotions and control myself, and being very reactive pushed people away from me that I love the most. And when I realized that, that's what started the desire to change how I was, not who I was, but just how I responded to certain things, and having more control over myself instead of having external factors make me react. And that was me, the immature version of myself. So, you know, on this journey of health and mindset, I think that's very necessary in life, in business, and just in general, and even having a relationship with yourself. I don't think that's talked about often, is like loving yourself, forgiving yourself, finding peace in the mistakes that you've made, the people that you've hurt, just everything you've done in life, like being okay with that, forgiving yourself, finding peace so that you can move on like freely. And I think that, you know, coming from the city and just kind of your story and how I know you now, it's wild to even think that, you know, how you describe of like spazzing out and not being able to control yourself to where you are now. So that journey, I'm sure, like we're seeing the finished product, but I think a lot of people, and this is something I want to ask you, is that a lot of people see the finished result of somebody's success, and they see this big mountain to climb, like I would never get there. But they don't realize like all the sacrifices, all the failures, everything you went through to become who you are and who everybody sees now. But like, what do you have any like big pain points or big sacrifices that you made that really moved the needle for you to get to where you are now?
I can't think of anything. Of course, like life happens. You have to deal with it as it comes. You just have to like navigate, right? There's times where I felt like, oh, like I'm sharp as a tool, like nothing really can shake me. And then life hits, relationships hits, and you know, just life in general. So then those you learn from too, and you get better, you understand yourself. So I think like in the past 3-4 years, I would say I've understood myself a lot more than I knew myself. But I think that I don't know. I always take little pieces of things that I've learned in life, or like it's embedded in me. Someone told me before, like a wise person will learn from the mistakes of others. So I never tried to like why would I do that? Or like, you know, why would I put myself in that position? But I learned trying to perfect yourself so much, when there's like life happens, you kind of don't know how to, I don't know if it's the proper word, but you kind of get shaken up way more because you've never been through those things. Like, so you've never had to really learn from the past. Yeah. So you've been so like sharp as a tool. And when like life happens, you're kind of like fragile. Yeah. So I've learned that too. So you have to like you said, forgive yourself, just allow yourself to just go through the motions, and learn from the process. But I think I had never really, other than like that, I just always knew how to stay consistent, like consistent in one thing, like real estate. One thing real estate is, and discipline with, I like someone taught me about pillars of life, like, faith, family, what you feed yourself, like health, and then I don't even know the other two, but it's like, you just have to make sure those cups are filled.
For sure.
And working out, like I'm consistent with that. Like consistency, discipline, it just goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
People like start something and then they fall off. They start something, your momentum is gone.
Yeah.
Even if like you're not having your best day, it's like 1% better every day. Just stay consistent. Stay focused on like majorly on one thing, because you're too focused on too many different things. You're never gonna see like a finished result.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be hard. Anything is gonna be hard. Just finish it at least.
Yeah. Or even start.
Yeah. Or even start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
even start.
That's the hard part for everybody. It's a lot of people have an idea of what to do, and I think the hardest part is to start, because they don't know, or maybe don't have the confidence in themselves to move forward, or maybe they're afraid of what other people are going to think, or they're afraid of failing. And I think one thing to consider there is when you start and you figure out everything, it's through that journey and through that process, the transformation happens to become that person. And people can't see the end of the tunnel, and that's why they don't start.
Right.
But they're not going to get to the end of the tunnel if they never start.
Right.
So
you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. I want to take a little pivot here. So
You're going deep.
Yeah, no, but I think it's important, right? Like, I think it's important for people to understand what this whole process looks like for Gillian, for me, and the people that we look at as successful. It's like, we see your success, but like, what did it really take to become that? And nobody sees all those trials, those failures, those tribulations. And so I wanted to kind of go now into real estate, right? Like more into real estate. You got the mentor. At some point, you are now full-time real estate agent. What I want to ask you real quick on that is like, what is one thing you realized after you went full-time as a realtor? Was like the one thing that you realized that was like, oh, I didn't know that this is how it was.
Yeah. That it's like a 24-hour job. It's not, you don't clock in, you don't clock out. And if you are a person of stability, you're a person of systems and processes, like it's going to be a hard adjustment. But yeah, it's not a 9 to 5. Wow. Even till this day, not a 9 to 5. You have to love what you do too. So I think getting into real estate, you have to attach the real estate to something. Like if you like, I don't know, infrastructure, if you like staging, if you like something, like learn to fall in love with that through the process. Or if you love helping people. My thing was always like helping people. Again, natural giver, natural helper. Like it's just how my mom raised me. So that was that. And I remember the first couple of deals was like people that they were like kind of like my family. They were living in like a one household, had like 3 different families. I helped each of them purchase a house. And that like was just like doing stuff like that was just like more rewarding to me. So I always have that in the back of my head. Like, when you get caught up in the chaos, you get caught up in the deal. You're like, who are you doing it for? Yeah. Or like, why is this rewarding?
I was going to ask you that, like okay, so you went full-time real estate agent. You end up partnering with your mentor to co-found Kinetic.
Yeah, that was like right time, right place. And I wanted to just find a mentor. And then after a year or so, I was like, okay, I kind of want to go solo. right? And because I didn't really feel like I was wanting to go on my own, because the way he wanted it, Kevin wanted it, was like he needed his tribe, like his people, as he should, like buyer's agent, selling agent. That's just how it works. But I was ready to go solo. He was like, no, but wait, we have like a different opportunity, like we can make something work. And this opportunity arose, and I didn't even know what it meant at the time. Like, I'm not so big on titles and things like that. I'm just a doer. I'm an like I was just wanted to be a solo agent and do what I learned to do.
I love that about you. Like, the whole time you're telling me your story, in my mind, I'm like, you're a doer, you're a go-getter. Yeah. And it shows, right? Like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
But people know that you're valuable. So he approached you with this opportunity.
Yeah. And I think he was approached by another, like, partnered agent is what we call it. And it was just it's a new thing in the real estate Bay Area, where it's boutique style brokerages. Instead of, like, your bigger names like Keller Williams, they didn't really have groups at the time. So now, like, smaller groups are forming, because if you're in certain areas, or depending on how you want your culture to be ran, and the culture that we run is very much so, like, we put the clients first. We're, like, young. We're all young, hungry go-getters too. And we just do. And we just have like when people ask, like, oh, what's so great about Kinetic culture, this culture, it really is a culture. I think that everyone, I would say majority of the people in the brokerage now, they just have they're good people, number one. Good people, good attitudes majority of the time, and they're willing to learn. And they're willing to collaborate. We collaborate a lot. Most agents are like, why would you split a deal with someone? Because he can do it better in that way than I can. I'm going to split the deal, then no deal at all.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to learn from him. Or, like, again, you need a mentor to learn from people. You're just willing to learn, and you're not focused on the money first. The money will come later.
Yeah.
Through like your ability to help. You can tell, a client can tell when you're just there to collect a check. Like, this is the Bay Area. People are witty. People have access to so many things. Like, you're not going to get successful by having that mindset.
Right.
By, like, I'm just in real estate to help get a commission check.
Yeah,
like, you're not transactional will not do you good.
Yeah. Not in the long term.
Not long term. You might get lucky.
Yeah.
You might get like I'm a big believer in karma, and I've had to pay my karma in different ways. So I don't even play about that.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I tell people all the time, don't make it all about money, and don't focus only on the money.
Right.
Right. If you do a good job, or you have a great relationship, and you give without expectation, it will come back to you.
Just deposits.
Right, exactly. So just keep giving, obviously to the right people.
Yeah.
Right? You got to be careful and be a good, judgment of character, right? The good people you surround yourself with, work with those people, continue to bring value. Don't focus on the money. The money will come. Just focus on creating something, being a good person, creating value, and then relationships, valuing the relationships, and then the money will come. Yeah. Right. It's karma. And through my own journey, the more I gave, once I figured that out, the more I gave, the more things came back to me. I don't know how it works. It's God doing his work, but I'll take all the blessings that I can take. So you co-found Kinetic, you scale up to over 50
about 50 plus
partnered agents.
Everyone does their individual sales, but one key thing that I think helped us propel is that we formed like a leadership group. So pretty much all the agents that do the most volume was started with us, and then individually just kind of joined, or we not recruited, joined mutually, wanted to add to the leadership group because they showed value. There's no KPIs around that, honestly, but it was I know maybe in business not the best thing, but it's just like a feel. Yeah. it was a feel, it was a vibe.
Yeah.
It was your aura. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that really helps because that helps us maintain like what they say, the culture that helps us maintain, what's going on in the brokerage, what agents need. And what I love about and what we really pride ourselves in is just we really are there to help the agents. It's not like, oh, how do we make more money off of the agents? It's not at all, because the more you grow, the more we grow. Yeah. That's how you think of it.
That's the abundant mindset.
Right.
Everybody wins, everybody eats.
Yeah, we don't have we try not to have a scarcity mindset. And I think, again, everyone that pretty much on the leadership team, you can say they're good people. We know each other's families.
Yeah.
You're you kind of, who they are.
Yeah.
It's not like corp, you clock out, you don't know what they do on the daily. We go on trips together, we party together, we have dinner together. It's just different, various ways of life, just like ZCU.
Yeah.
So it's a community, and then I think we've elevated through just having other mentors and learning from other seasoned companies that have been around for a lot longer to build the foundations of systems, operations, and just the business style, business style. So we built the culture up. Now it's okay, we got to start building, we treat it as a business. What systems are we using, and who's who for that. We have our ops manager, Anna, she's great, and she already came from corp. So you're just elevating every
little by
season.
Little.
Yeah.
Like you said, 1% better every day. You just make a tweak here, a tweak there, small improvement here.
And for the agents, it's a different, I guess their path looks different from what, the leadership's path looks like. But as agents, we get agents that have no real estate experience and take off to do 10, 20 million a year, 30 million a year.
That's crazy.
Just having the abundance mindset, learning.
Yeah.
You have agents that, are happy with 10 million a year because that's just, they like to travel or they like to just feed their families. We have agents that are doing part-time that do 10 million a year, and they're happy with that because they love what they do on their 9 to 5, so just.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what does a normal day for Gillian look like now?
I take on podcasts. It's a day before. No, I wake up, make my daughter breakfast, food, lunch. She won't eat the lunch at school, but I like doing that for her. Go to the gym, start my day. Appointments, either office or on the phone. Take appointments. Wednesdays we have our team meetings, so I'm I need to be there for that. Weekends. Right now I'm really in grind mode, like no other. Last year or two, I feel I was kind of chilling. Mm-hmm. I wasn't really motivated to do hit goals. This year I'm just I feel I was when I started. I'm super I'm crazy driven right now.
What gave you that drive?
Recently, because I felt I wasn't growing. I wasn't growing the past 2 years.
And if you're not growing,
I was dying.
You're dying.
No, I just didn't feel it was just, I needed to hit something new. Or I needed to re-fall in love into real estate.
Yeah.
So I'm super happy now.
Yeah.
I'm happy with what I do again.
I love that. Why is it important? The work that you do. Mm-hmm. Why is that important?
Again, helping families, and I think I'm just trying to hit a new stage in my life. Or I don't know, maybe just slow down, settle down. Just this year got to be my best year for some reason. Even if it's not in numbers, but it's internally.
Holistically.
Yeah. Internally, how I feel, I just need to make sure I give it my all is what I'm really striving for.
I love this season for you. It's a return on happiness. It doesn't have to be a number, but it's a feel.
Yeah.
How do you feel inside? Do you feel accomplished? Do you feel present? Your energy level. How is your energy level? Are you coming home to your daughter or to your family drained, impatient? No, we need to adjust that, right? And I think when you go through grind mode, which is cool, is creating that space for you. Like for you, it's going to the gym, right? Or whatever that is. But when we talk about helping families, like, do you track that? Like how many families have you impacted? Have you helped? Do you have like a revenue number tallied up on what your company did? Like, can you share a little bit about that?
We've helped over like you can say 2,000 families since Kinetic started. That's over $1 billion in volume. My numbers might be off, but I know it's up there. Wait, let me check.
Man.
Wait. So I tracked my numbers really heavy. Last year we helped over, like, we were at 436 families, transactions.
Wow.
So 400 families we helped. I myself, like, throughout my career have like 200 plus transactions. Families
That's
within
incredible.
that, of course. And those are like just repetitiveness has helped me learn, to get, I would say, becoming an expert. And I'm still learning, like different, our market is so crazy. The interest rates.
Oh, yeah.
Like just how to navigate through every single thing. Like it's different.
Imagine 200 families of, I'm going to say generational wealth, right? 200 families, 200 generations that can potentially be set up for multiple generations. That's a huge impact. Huge impact. I know how it was when I bought my first house, how that changed the game for me. So when I think about 200 families, my mind is blown. Like, that's just crazy. So, well, I thank you for your service. And that's something that I think we have in common as well, is that not only are we San Francisco or Bay Area natives, like, I think your success and maybe a little bit of my own comes from service, like helping people, good karma. And I think I can say for sure, without a doubt, have been blessed beyond measure because of the way you look at life and your perspective. And I pray that this continues to happen for this year. This is your best year. The next year is even better, and so on. And I want to, as we wrap up, kind of ask you for the person that's watching this episode right now that wants to start a business, invest in real estate, become a realtor, but might have their own life challenges. Like, if you were to talk to that person directly, what advice would you give them?
I would say first, cut out all distractions. Cut out any distractions that is weighing you down. And you know it. You know it, you feel it. You don't maybe want to admit it, but if you want to get to the next level, you have to cut out the distractions first, because then you can take the next step, get clarity, take the next step, get in a different room. And the stages might look different. You might be able to get in the next room or a different room, get inspired. But I think ultimately, like, get inspired first, and then just start weaving out the things that you don't need in your life. Because I think people underestimate, like, what your environment does to you.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll say this, for me, speaking anecdotally, I grew up in a very reactive environment. It's probably why I was very reactive. Growing up, I would respond quick to any sign of, just threat or, But once I got out of that environment, it's exactly like you said. I got out of the environment, I was able to think clearly. Then I was able to focus on what was really distracting me, what wasn't serving me, what wasn't filling my cup, what wasn't moving the needle. And then once I started to think like that, I was thinking what I want the next level of Jay to look like, and what do I need to do to get there So my focus shifted once I changed my environment and I cut out the It's exactly like you said. And that was the start of the change of my life. So, yeah, well, thank you for sharing that. And again, thank you for joining me on this short notice for the context.
So good. Thank you for having me. It was, I would say, one of my favorite, sit down.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So, yeah, thank you again. I loved watching your journey. You know, I've been supportive from afar. I've been, everything you're doing has been just incredible to watch. Like, you've been just crushing it since I met you at a retreat, at a mastermind, in a real estate community. And shout out to Zen Coast.
Yes.
And it's been an amazing journey to watch you grow and just keep hitting these wins, like hitting these big stages and sharing your story. And so I'm very grateful to have you sit down and speak to me and our listeners. If people are interested to learn more about you, maybe talk to you or consult with you about, becoming a realtor or maybe buying a property or selling a property, what's the best way to reach out to you?
I'm always on Instagram. It's my name, _AA. Gillian, realtor, I'm sorry. But yeah, Instagram or just my website. You can find me. It's easy to find me.
I'll definitely link your Instagram and your website in the show notes, in the description. But yeah, Gillian, again, thank you for sitting down and having this conversation. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.